This is the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. I am your host, Laurie Henderson. Join me on this journey into the world of manga, where a river of reviews flow through caverns of commentary down into the latest news. Welcome to the Manga Dome. Episode 53, What I've Been Reading. The Weekly Wish List. Just a few books to mention this week. Vertical gets my attention again this week with their sci-fi hit Knights of Sidonia Volume 8 and What Did You Eat Yesterday Volume 1. I'm looking forward to What Did You Eat Yesterday, especially since it's by Fumi Yoshinaga. I'm not really a foodie. I hate cooking. But we'll see if this volume can hold my attention. The only other title is Magi Volume 5 from Viz Media. With this release, I'm only 2 behind now. In the news, the May issue of Kodansha's Besatsu Shonen magazine has announced that the title, The Flowers of Evil, will end in the June issue next month. The series is about Takako Kasuga, a bookish boy with a crush on Nanako Saeki, who finds her gym clothes and steals them. He is seen by Sawa Nakamura, a girl he loathes, who blackmails him into a contract. The series has 10 volumes out so far. It is published here by Vertical Inc., and the 9th volume will be out this month, with Vertical being completely caught up by July. While I didn't see the appeal of this series, a lot of other people have. It has been a good seller for Vertical, especially after the anime was streamed here last year by Crunchyroll. The Japanese magazine Tsukuru published a chart of the highest print runs for the top 15 titles for the 3 publishers, Kodansha, Shogakukan, and Shueisha, for the 12 months spanning April 2013 to March 2014. While there are some familiar titles on the list, not all are top performers here. One title that does match is Kodansha's Attack on Titan, which is Kodansha Comics' top title as well. Fairy Tail, number 4 in Japan, does well here too. Their second biggest seller probably won't make it here. Saint Young Men, about Buddha and Jesus sharing an apartment in Tokyo. It's too bad, the series looks just plain cute. Initial D did well for Tokyo Pop back in the day, but I don't think it would command the same audience today. Kodansha has a lot of sports titles ranking such as Hajime no Ippo, Ukiku Furi Kabute, Ace of Diamond, and Giant Killing. Too bad sports titles just don't make it as well here. Shogakukan's top title is one that's requested a lot. Silver Spoon is a farming manga by Hiromu Arakawa, the creator of Fullmetal Alchemist. You'd think it would be a no-brainer considering how popular FMA was, but Viz must not think farming will be popular, even with Arakawa's name. Right behind it is a manga that is being published here, Detective Conan, Case Closed. Sadly, I don't think it's doing as well as its Japanese counterpart. Magi, which is at number 4, has the potential to keep growing here. Hayate the Combat Butler is at number 6, and it has fans here, but nowhere near as many. Shueisha's top 15 titles reads like a Shonen Jump license list for Viz. One Piece stands on top, with Naruto right behind it. Number 4's Assassination Classroom will be starting this year. Blue Exorcist is a top seller, as is Bleach and Toriko. D. Gray Man had its moments, while Kimi ni Todoke, the only licensed shoujo on the list, has performed steadily. At the bottom of their top 15 is Gintama, a title that Viz tried to get to sell, but it just couldn't find an audience. I know it didn't appeal to me, but I am far from a typical shonen manga fan. It has had 53 volumes in Japan, while Viz dropped it to end at 27. Of these 3 companies, One Piece is king of the hill with 4 million volumes printed for volume 73. Attack on Titan comes in second at 2,200,000 for volume 12, and Silver Spoon brings up the rear at 1,200,000 for volume 11. This really reflects a difference not only in the manga market, but comics in general. Marvel just got an initial print run for the new Amazing Spider-Man number 1 at 500,000 copies, the biggest in 10 years. That seems like just a drop in the bucket compared to these 3 manga top sellers. The top 10 department. At VizManga.com, you can tell it was a big shonen release week. For the week of April 1st, 2014, another new title takes the top spot. Naruto Volume 65 is back at number 1. The new Bleach, Volume 60, debuts at number 2, along with Library Wars Volume 11 at number 3. Toriko Volume 21 pops in at number 4 and is followed by Chibi Vampire Volume 1 in its digital-only debut at number 5. D.N. Angel Volume 1 is right behind at number 6, and Hunter x Hunter Volume 32 makes an appearance at number 7. Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan returns with Volume 20 at number 8, Sweet Rain Volume 2, the only other new shoujo, at number 9, and Nisekoi Volume 7, the lone holdover from last week, falls 9 spots to end the list at number 10. I figured Chibi Vampire and D.N. Angel would have made the list as soon as they were available, and it's a respectable showing, coming in the middle. Naruto, Bleach, and Toriko are no big surprise, but it's nice to see Library Wars hitting the top 5. Nisekoi took a big hit though, falling so far from last week. Even Sweet Rain, an average shoujo, beat it. The New York Times didn't update their website with the list last week in time for me to include it, so I'll do a double round this week. For the week ending March 29th, 2014, there's a new top title. Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin Volume 5 debuted at number 1. Soul Eater Volume 19 also debuted at number 2, pushing back Attack on Titan Volume 1 to number 3. Attack on Titan Before the Fall Volume 1 fell back 3 to number 4, while Attack on Titan Junior High Volume 1 moved up 3 to number 5. Kingdom Hearts 358 2 Days Volume 3 debuted at number 6, along with Puella Magi Madoka Magica, A Different Story Volume 1, which debuted at number 7. Attack on Titan Volume 10 returned at number 8, Fairy Tail Volume 36 debuted at number 9, and Alice in the Country of Clover, March Hare ends the list at number 10. Moving on to the week ending April 5th, 2014, Viz makes its presence known with Naruto Volume 65 debuting at number 1 and Bleach Volume 60 at number 2. Soul Eater Volume 19 hangs around, dropping 1 to number 3, along with Attack on Titan Volume 1 at number 4. Sword Art Online Aincrad Volume 1 debuts at number 5, while Attack on Titan Before the Fall Volume 1 falls back another 2 to number 6. Fairy Tail Volume 36 moves up 2 to number 7, while Puella Magi Madoka Magica, A Different Story, Volume 1 falls back 1 to number 8. Wolf Children, Ame and Yuki, the deluxe hardcover, debuts at number 9, and Attack on Titan Junior High Volume 1 falls back the most, 5 spots, to end the list at number 10. Once again, the list is very volatile, with Viz and Yen fighting for dominance, while Kodansha keeps its slow and steady course. I'm always happy when vertical titles make the list, and even more when it's a mech title at number 1. Wolf Children, Ame and Yuki is a surprise, albeit a pleasant one, with its hefty size and price tag. Maybe manga really is starting to grow up. What I've been reading. Last week marked the 1-year anniversary of my podcast, and to start off the second year, I returned to my first and take a look at what I've been reading over the last couple of months. You can see some of the books I've read from the reviews on my blog, but since I read faster than I write, there are a lot more sitting on the to-be-reviewed pile. Here's a quick overview of some of the titles I've read and hope to write reviews of in the near future. I was slow to warm up to Durarara, but once I did, I was hooked. I read the entire Saika arc, the second of the series, and really enjoyed it. It adds more to the supernatural element and develops Sonohara and Shizuo, which I loved because Shizuo is one of my favorite characters in the series. I also read the manga I got for Christmas and my birthday, World War Blue Volume 1, Sherlock Bones Volume 1, and Alice in the Country of Hearts Clockmaker Story. I wasn't as impressed with World War Blue as I had hoped. I did like the way the video game wars were converted into characters, and the stories behind the original games between chapters were interesting. I didn't care for the male gaze or perverted mentor that was introduced. I liked Sherlock Bones much more. The volume was just one case, and wasn't about finding out who did it, but how. Again, the male gaze was a little much, but the mystery kept me riveted enough that it didn't become a problem. I also enjoyed the Clockmaker story, as Julian was one of my favorite characters from the main Alice in the Country of Hearts story, but it did move a little slow and almost felt boring at times. I'm glad it was just one volume. Going over to the shoujo side for a bit, I read the new Kodansha series, My Little Monster. I liked it. It took some interesting turns and reached an end that made me interested to read more. For a more mature romance, I read the first 2 volumes of Happy Marriage, I really like the interaction between the two leads. They are the type of prickly pair that I like. I also did a little catch-up with rereading the first 5 volumes of Dengeki Daisy. I'll be going back to that one soon. Also over at Viz, I got in a few Shonen Jump titles with Bakuman, Nisekoi, and Magi. I was surprised by how much I liked Magi. It's a good action-adventure with plenty of comedy and a touch of male gaze. I was really surprised I liked Nisekoi. I didn't think I would, but by the end of the first volume, I wasn't sorry I read it. I think it's worth at least a second volume. What have you been reading? Has it been all new releases, or do you have some backlog like me to catch up on? Leave me a comment and let me know. Thank you for listening to the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. You can find links to the stories and books discussed here in the show notes at manga.jdragononline.com. You can email me with any questions at xanadu@jdragononline.com or leave a comment on this post. Rate me on YouTube and follow me on Twitter at Manga Xanadu, all one word. Until next time, farewell from the Manga Dome.